gentlemen, please welcome your host for Lauren Lately, Miss Lauren Lai.
Thank you. So this morning, I went on my Facebook and I got a friend request from someone I've never even seen before. Now, how many people of you have a Facebook? Raise your hand. Now, has this ever happened to you? How many of you have ever talked, accepted, or sent a friend request to or from someone you have never known before? Today, social media has taken over our lives. Facebook and other sites make it easy for one to hide and reconstruct their identity to how they want to be presented as. Many young teenagers assume that social networking sites are harmless, but it has been proven to be dangerous time after time. But there are many issues that can't be measured, like trust. How can you claim to know someone through only talking through social networking? How can you control emotions by using logic? The ability to collect data isn't dependable due to the various emotions like attachment to social media or the person of interest. The bias collection is based off consistent lies to avoid embarrassment, emotion, or judgment of others. Today, we have a panel of experts to input their knowledge and solve for a solution, but now we're going to watch a short clip about Bobby Blue, a 19-year-old college student who has experienced the consequences of identity theft on Facebook. Let's watch the short clip about Blue's experience. It all started with the friend request.
Oh, a friend request. Damn!
But then it becomes something more.
If I was your boyfriend, I'd never let you go. I could take you places you ain't never been before. Baby, take a chance so you'll never ever know. I got money in my hands that I really like to blow. Swipe, swipe, swipe on you. Chilling by the fire while we eating fondue.
He thought she was 16. Then she says she's 20. They started talking more, and all of a sudden, she's 65.
Yes. Is this a joke? Whoa, what's going on?
Now! But he said, what's the big deal? She gets me. She's sweet, smart, and really fun and gives great advice that works. She's not just mental, and despite the age difference, she loves me and thinks I'm handsome. Everyone found out Bobby had been sexually assaulted. Even the FBI got involved. I found more information about the investigation by hacking to the computer, but we didn't necessarily find much. But there are 3 pictures right here of other victims who have been assaulted by the woman. Do they look familiar? Have you seen them before? You don't recognize them from anywhere?
It's not any of these. I don't get it, you guys. She didn't try to hurt me. She loved me. I hate you guys.
Bobby finally noticed that all she did was use him and didn't really love him. That was the moment where he accepted it as rape. Now let's all give a warm welcome to Bobby Blue. Thank you so much for having me here. That was an incredible story. You're very strong and brave to be able to put up with all of that. So did you feel convinced that you knew that person?
Oh, once I look back, I can't really trust her. It's just I never questioned her. I just accepted everything she said.
But now that you've gone through that experience, do you wonder whom you can truly trust?
It does make me question the people I can trust. But I feel betrayed by her because she lied to me and I depended on her more than others, you know? I felt close to her.
So when the girl you met created that connection with you, what made you believe and think she meant those words?
To be honest, I felt loved. She made me feel special. I emotionally connected her. She made me feel more confident. We talked about, and then I started to rely on her by taking her advice, and I realized that slowly I was losing my independence and who I was individually. No matter how bad the situation became, I couldn't let go of her and lose that comfort. My parents would tell me it was wrong. Logically, it was. But I didn't understand because my emotions guided my decisions.
So in the future, how could you control your emotions so you can think logically?
I don't know, desire is strong. I wouldn't know how to control it.
How have you reflected yourself on this experience?
I learned that identity could truly hurt someone emotionally and physically. I tried to commit suicide once my friends and family knew. I was embarrassed, you know? I know that I'm going to be more aware and controlled over the internet now that I know the consequences of it.
Oh, so how much do you now trust social networking?
I believe people, including myself, are too connected to social media, you know? And resolved to only using networking to communicate with others because of the convenience. I started to interact outside the media.
Today, we have 3 experts on social media and how it influences identity reconstruction through limitation on language. To cover the language barriers on networking, we have Dr. Alexandra Durante, who has a master's in linguistics and has been studying at UCLA for several years. And to examine the mind and how emotions have a big role in decision making, we have Dr. Caroline Wood. And last but not least, we have the man who created Facebook himself, Mark Zuckerberg. And thank you for joining us. Thank you. So you've heard Blue's story in his reflection on what happened. Mr. Zuckerberg, do you feel that you caused our society to become more reliant on social networking and take advantage of how easy it is to communicate?
It's not my obligation to protect others. They choose who their friends are on Facebook. They choose what they use Facebook for. I've given them the opportunity. I've offered them so much for their own protection. Their profiles are private. They choose who's a request to accept or deny. They choose who to reply to. Therefore, it's not really my obligation to do anything else.
What have you concluded about how people abuse the easy access social networking given to be able to get contact information of others?
Many people use Facebook to communicate with their friends and family.
Social networking gives people the ability to play with one's mind by creating false relationships.
But besides the use to communicate worldly, people use Facebook to shape their identity and be presented as a person they want to be seen as. They aren't necessarily a whole other person they may be, but pick out fragments of their personality and change others because it is what they want to be, but never could be.
Dr. Durante, would you say that language is limitless due to the broad horizon of who you can be and what you can say?
Not at all. Teenagers feel limited because they have to be aware of when they are trying to post a status, picture, etc. Since their parents or relatives have the ability to access their profile, but this limit doesn't only apply to teenagers. Adults have friends on Facebook, possibly from work, church, family, or school, and they have to be cautious about what they post and how their friends may interpret what the status is supposed to say. Once something goes on the internet, you can never take it back.
Do you think society pressures people to act a certain way?
Definitely. Due to the constant expectations of others, social networking allows people the ability to be who society wants them to be and shape their identity. But it's something nobody can necessarily control. This pressure also puts restrictions on language because one doesn't want to be judged or harassed.
Speaking of harassment, don't Facebook, Twitter, and other popular sites make it easier for one to bully another?
There is cyberbullying, blackmail, identity theft. There's an infinite amount of ways to diminish one's confidence and self-esteem.